Hey, what up, good people? It's your girl Tracy Kajuju, and we are back with a new episode of D&D, that is Dada Next Door. If you're new here, welcome to the farm. We are so happy that you could join us today. And if you've been here for a while, we are so grateful that you found the time to come again and watch our show. I want to introduce our favorite guest. I think by now she's not even a guest anymore. Welcome, Sharon.
It's Sharon, double S, Miss New to one time. Karibuni.
So a lot has been happening in Kenya. As usual, something is always happening in Kenya. So we saw the launching of the O Sister reality show. So this is going to be a female icon kind of thing. We have not seen a show that is only focusing on gospel artists or people in the gospel industry. So I don't know why I have this feeling that it's going to be chaotic. So we have the likes of Size 8. I think everyone in Kenya knows Size 8. We have the likes of Millie Wa Jesus, Betty Bayo, and the others that I am not really familiar with, but we'll see what they're all about. Not to throw any shade, I'm just saying.
Tracy.
Sharon, are you going to watch that show?
I might watch it out of curiosity, actually, because I know it's like a Hallelujah version of Real Housewives of Nairobi.
Yeah.
So I just want to see how they'll develop drama and still maintain the salvation part of it, because again, the whole basis of the show is their sisters in Christ, if I can use that word. So I just want to see how we are going to have drama in Christ. You see, like Tracy, it's John 3:16, for God so loved the world. Lakini mbona ulisoma na hiyo tone?
Wow.
I don't know. I'm just creating scenarios in my head, but I might watch it out of curiosity. But I mean, cheers to the reality and film industry in Kenya. We're continuing to be vibrant. As consumers, we tend to be very rigid in consuming our own content, unfortunately. And when I say we, it's not you, it's we, like Sisi Sote. You'll watch Real Housewives of Hollywood, Atlanta, New York, or whichever franchise that is out, Dubai, whatnot. But now when there's a Kenyan version to it, you're like, oh, they're copying. But again, it's a franchise. They're just trying to localize it to some things that you may relate. Maybe they might stretch a little because of the drama and whatnot. But let's start accepting Kenyan productions the same way we embraced shows like... There's this reality Akinavera used to do. What's the name? Nairobi Diaries. The same way we embrace Nairobi Diary with its originality. The same way we embrace a show like Nairobi Half-Lives with its originality. Let's also embrace the same when it comes to having a spin-off that is Kenyan-based. The moment we start accepting and embracing content that is locally made, as much as we might say it's lacking originality. Yes, it's lacking originality, but we are bringing it closer home. You may not understand what Real Housewives of Atlanta do, but at least you will know baby showers za Kenya watu tumia helicopter. Unaona? Yeah, so that's it. I'm excited to see where this goes. Like, aside from everything else that is happening, the realities and whatnot, I'm just excited to see the progression that we are making in the film and reality space.
Guys, let's watch our own shows. Let's watch our content. Let's subscribe to our, platforms and Showmax and all those things that have Kenyan and African content. Let's go all out. If we start giving our own content attention, then other people are going to give it attention.
I mean, charity begins at home.
Very true. So moving on, we have been seeing people setting standards on the internet. I don't know if these standards are real, but I saw this post from Harmonize. He was basically saying that if you're an African artist and you think maybe you want to collaborate with him or I don't know what, don't talk to him if you don't own a Range Rover, because why don't you own a Range Rover? Why shouldn't you have a Range Rover? Range Rover is just a baby. So, and I was just like, how many people have Range Rovers in Kenya? I don't know. How many artists?
Graf Jones.
I really don't know. But how is Range Rover? How does it relate to all this music thing or all this collaboration thing. Make me understand. Do you have any sentiments about that?
No.
Cinnamon?
I'm not having any Range Rover conversations moving forward. Last week we talked about Amber being gifted one. This week we are speaking of Harmonize asking, or rather stating, that if you're an East African artist and you don't drive one, then you're not even on the level.
You're below his level.
You're below his level and not even his child's level. Mimi nitaongelea story ya Land Rover nikipata yangu. Till then, humility is embracing me.
There's this other one that I saw. I think it was around the same time. A lady called Iviona saying that
The radio host.
she's a forgive my ignorance, but I do not know who that is.
It's showing.
She was like, I don't talk to men who are not billionaires. So I'm just like, first of all, let's count how many billionaires we have in Kenya.
Should we like fold ilikuwa kukunja vidole? Kenyatta.
Uhuru Kenyatta.
The Chandaria people.
Let's leave out politicians, because we know majority are politicians. Manu Chandaria,
The Bidco people, I don't know, they're still Asians.
The
Kirubi. It's a
Kirubi
handful.
is gone.
But
The family.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's a handful. It's a handful, or rather, it's just a small number of people. So, beautiful Iviona, you've said if you're not a billionaire, they should not DM you. In the strong words of Annalisa, billionaires are serious people. I doubt they'll be on Instagram trying to DM you.
I know, right? Wow, that's interesting. That's interesting because
ask Tracy. You seem baffled. You seem extremely baffled.
I am really baffled because, first of all, I don't know who that is. Second of all, I don't know what she was thinking. Anyway. So today we are going to be talking about family. Every human being has a family, or at least came from a family. And so family values and how we show affection and love, especially in the African context. So,
do we? Do we?
Of course we do, but maybe we have a different way of doing it.
Very rough.
So Sharon, what does family mean to you?
Family for me is just like people who can be there for me and I can be there for them by whatever means. Sometimes it's above and beyond. Sometimes it's beyond and above.
What about now? Let's come to the nuclear family, which is like the closest form of family. How was it growing up as a child? How did your family members express affection or love towards each other?
I come from a very close-knit family because on a nuclear setting, we're just four. Myself, my sister, my mom, and my late dad. We were still very close-knit, but now because of my mom's profession, we moved a lot. So majority of the time, my dad used to come to where we will be. In terms of affection, I'll say we were affectionate towards each other, but if I can do a comparison, I think my dad was more affectionate compared to my mom. My mom, I'll say, is the typical African mother. Typical. Huyo ni yule alienda African School of African Moms na akagraduate na first class. But my dad was very, I'd say modernized, I don't know, or rather he had mingled with a lot of people. So he used to show affection vile inafaa. He'll tell us, you look beautiful. I remember the first person to introduce me to nail polish was my dad. Like he used to get us nail polish. The person who made me get my ears pierced was my dad. I mean, typical girl dad. Like, why are your ears not pierced? And wasichana wengine huko wametoboa masio. Wewe unakaa hivyo. Mimi nitakutoboa moja. Ukimaliza shule ukitaka kutoboa yote ikae kama kichungi ni sawa. So his way of showing affection to us was always trying to be as present as possible. We might have stayed with distance kidogo, but I can remember he made sure he created time to come and spend time with us. He'll create time to take us out. I think my highlight of me feeling my dad's affection is when I was young, I think around class 4-5, he took us to go and watch Safari Rally. Safari.
Twister.
Kwisha, Jerry. Yeah, and it was so exciting. I loved it. I was like, yes. So, and you know, when you're young, you have to go and brag in school. Nyinyi hamukupelekwa kuona guy. Kwani nyinyi mnaishi wapi? But yeah, so I'll say when we were young, I could feel the affection from my dad. From my mom, it was very subtle. Ni ule wa vaa hizo viatu uone kama zinakutosha. Nilipitia mahali nikaona hizo zinaweza kufurahisha. Unataka kushukwa nini? Haya, sawa, nitakupeleka ushukwe. Unataka beads hivyo. Do you I feel like I want to eat ABCD. Sawa, nitawapikia chapo. Like she was more of a acts of service. She'll never tell you, and I don't think even today my mom has ever told me verbally like I love you, but you'll feel the love. And because they also created an atmosphere where even if we don't say it, we'll make sure you feel it. Whatever we can do, we'll provide it to you. Of course, kupigwa nayo, that is part of love. Sio wewe ninapiga, ni makosa ninapiga, lakini ni kichapo cha mbwa.
You have one sibling. So how was it growing up? Did you express affection towards each other openly? And compared to now that you're both adults, has it changed? Is it still the same?
The gap between my sister and I is 4 years. So when my sister was born, of course I was excited to have a sibling. Like, and then it was that area, mama ameenda supermarket kuleta mtoto. I never knew people get pregnant. I knew you'll walk into a supermarket, choose a baby. And I still remember what I told my mom when she brought my sister back home. Because my sister she's a black beauty. She's not dark, but she has such a dark tone of very nice complexion. But because I was already brainwashed, sisi ni wale tulizaliwa na Barbie doll, so tunajua watoto wanafaa kuwa weupe. Now I can acknowledge and say I had been whitewashed. So when my sister was brought home, I asked my mom, kwa shelf mzima huyu ndio alikufurahisha?
Wow.
Mom, kwa hiyo shelf mzima huyu tu ndio uliona ulete nyumbani. But then when we grew, my sister was very attached to me from my perspective. Maybe one day she'll come here and justify it. She was very attached to me. I want to do something, my sister is there holding me. Oh, I want to go and play. My sister is like, hauniachi? I'm like, hapana, siendi na wewe. Mom, amekataa kwenda na mimi. Ni wapi uko unaenda kwenye utaki kwenda na mtoto? So by the time I was turning into a teenager, my sister felt like a burden because I'm like, why do I have to keep on tagging her along in everything I'm doing? Can't you be independent? And we used to fight a lot. I remember one time my mom asked us, mko wawili na mnapigana hivi, mungekuwa wanne, si ningekuja siku moja nipate mmeuana. And sometimes it used to get physical. You know, majority of the time when you're fighting with your sibling, it's always verbal. We kwenda, usinishow. It used to get somewhere and my arms are flying, her arms are flying. But now, as we grew up and maybe we understood each other, we kind of understood, okay, not fully because people are always evolving. My sister now is not the sister I had when she was in high school or when she was 16. And I am not the sister she had when I was 18 or when I was 20. So the dynamics have changed. Right now we have a strong sister bond. Of course we'll rub shoulders. We are siblings at the end of the day. Hardly will we tell each other face to face like, yo, I love you. Okay, we do, but rarely. But in form of text and just expressing, hi, thank you for being an amazing sister. Thank you for always coming through for me. Thank you for being ABCD. Oh, you know, typical sibling sister. Anyone who is an older sister, you will understand what I'm saying.
Wow. It's very beautiful, like listening to your story and your journey about affection all through. Especially the parts about your dad being like the most affectionate, which is highly unexpected.
I know.
Because in most African households, that openly expressing affection is not common. And even if there is affection being shown, mostly it's the mother and not the father, because I think most people can relate to this. In African households, the father is just like, I don't know how to put it, but the father is the father.
I love you from a distance.
From a distance, exactly. Like, he's there, he loves you, he'll take care of you, he'll provide for you and do everything he has to do. But he will never come and tell you, oh, my daughter, my son.
Maybe you should tell us your way of affection as a family, because I understand you have brothers. You're the only. That's interesting. I always yearned to have a brother. But Tracy, before we even continue, let me cut you short. Indulge us. How was your childhood like in your family setup? How did you guys show affection to each other from parents' perspective, from your siblings' perspective?
So for me, my dad has always been the typical African dad, like most. Yeah, he's always been present in our lives, but he wasn't that kind of person to like sit you down and tell you about his feelings or how he feels about you. That has never happened. And honestly, I don't blame him, because he's been a good father. And I think whatever he showed to us was how he showed love is how he received it from his parents. And I think that it's a thing with their generation. Their parents never used to express love openly like that. They will never tell you, I love you, my daughter, I love you, you're the best, nini. But the way he brought us up, we could feel that he loved us, because he would encourage us to work hard. He would encourage us to do things that were good for us, But feelings, hapo kwa feelings, nini. Please, my friend, forget. So for my dad, I think the fight goes even to physical touch. It's just a handshake.
Wow.
It's weird, yes, I know. But
no, it's not weird, but it's different in each setting.
Yeah.
You've mentioned something about your dad supporting what you want to do. Let me tell you, my dad will show you love, but he will also decide what you do. So I think that's where I think our difference will come in, because I got the affection, like physical affection. I'll be hugged. He'll hold hands with me. We'll walk. Nini. But let me tell you, if he says you're going to do physics, you're going to do physics. If we are not going to do physics, then there's a problem. You want to do what? Well, it's okay. You can do music festival, but I'll prefer if you did ABCD. So yeah, I just wanted to highlight that.
Yeah, so it was like that. I think when I was young, like between 0 to maybe 10, that's when I remember myself being close with my dad, because I was very young back then. And my dad also never used to stay with us at home. He used to work from far. So he would only come over the weekends and then go back to work. So on Friday, I used to know that's the day that dad comes home. And he would bring goodies and all those things. So it used to be my best day of my life. So I would come from school, do my homework. So to make sure I impress him, I do my homework, I take a shower, sikuwa nasumbua, and then now I go and sit outside and wait until he comes. Even if he comes at 7 p.m. And back then, kulikuwanga na curfew. I don't care. It's my dad coming home. So I would sit outside and wait until he comes. And then when he comes, I ran to him, and then he carries me, and that used to give me so much joy. I can't even explain. And then out of the blues, there's another person there, a younger person than me, who was never always there. My brother.
Oh, you had last born syndrome. Now I get it.
So my brother comes along. So once he learned how to walk, now he started copying me. I am sitting outside, he's also sitting outside, and I'm like, yeah, this is my thing.
It's my father.
Yeah. So he would sit there with me, and I used to get so annoyed. I was like, you'd go do your thing. This is my thing. I mean, I have always been doing this alone, because my big brother never used to do that. Of course, for him, he was a bit older, so that was not something exciting.
Past.
Yeah, he was already past that. So my smaller brother would copy me and sit down with me, and I would get so furious. And then when I see my dad coming, I start running, and he also starts running. So sometimes I'd push him. I would push him, and then it's like a race. So I push him. By the time he gets back up, mi nishafika huko na nishabebwa. And then along the way pia yeye anaokotwa hata kama hakufika finish line. And then we go back to the house. So from that, like, I think my brother came. When my brother came, I saw him as competition.
What's the age gap between the two of you?
3 years. 3 years difference. So I saw him as competition all the time, because we were almost the same age. So he's learning a lot from me. So I was just like, sasa huyu amekuja kufanya nini hapa? Yeah, so it was always competition. When we grew a bit older, we started fighting, physical fighting, because I was always an expressive kid. I was always used to the attention, but now there's someone else.
It's divided.
Yeah, and I didn't understand it. So within that conflict and all that, now my big brother was more of a mediator growing up. So like, he's older than us, he understands things better. So whenever we would fight, he would either try to make us reconcile or just discipline the both of us. But sometimes I used to be either what is it called, snitch. When me and my younger brother have a fight, I go and tell my big brother. Like, now I try like to chomea him so that it seems like he's the one who made the mistake, even if I'm
in a villain era.
Yeah, so it was always like that. We never had those moments talking so much about our feelings, but we were raised to always care about each other, always to give each other, to share the things we had. At that time, you remember this thing of where sweater yangu, I have to pass it down to my brother, and my brother passed it down. Exactly. Yeah. Those kinds of things.
Can't relate. I was the passer.
Yeah, so we grew up well, actually, and now that we are adults, of course, there's still that aspect of emotions and feelings. We don't talk about it that much. But one thing I appreciate about my siblings is how we come through for each other. If one of us is stuck, the rest of us will always come through. My big brother will come through for me. My small brother will also come through for me. And that we don't have to tell each other, I love you. We don't have to, sometimes even birthdays go unmentioned. Like, we didn't celebrate a lot of birthdays growing up. So birthdays go unmentioned, but at the end of the day, I may find myself taking a gift to my brother, it's not his birthday, or him giving me something, it's not my birthday. So there's always that unsaid kind of affection. I feel like when I become a parent, if I become a parent, I would want to do things differently. I want to be more vocal about my feelings towards my family, my children, and all that. So that is one thing that I would change.
I decided I'll start telling my parent, my mom, I love her. I'll take the first step. I'll initiate that and say, thank you, mom, I love you. You've done ABCD. Again, being an African daughter and a firstborn, for that matter, to some extent you become a yes person, because you're like what people look up. Whoever is below you is looking up to you. So you end up being a pleaser because you don't want to go against your parent, you don't want to be rebellious. Of course, any person who is like second, third, of course they'll come in with that rebellion kind of energy, but most firstborns, not all, I'm just saying most, we end up being yes people. Sharon, turn east. Yes. No, east is not good for you. Please turn around and maybe look at north. As you're looking at north, start going towards south, and you're just saying yes, 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 yes. But now it has, with where I am in life, as much as we are in a family setup, I've come to a realization that I don't have to say yes to everything. There are times where they'll tell me, hey, ABC, and I'll be like, no. Right now, it's not about you. It might affect you, but also can you guys be considerate of me? Because speaking from a firstborn perspective, majority of the time we don't live our own lives. We're living our lives of our siblings or of our parents to please them, to be like my firstborn did. I mean, at the end of the day, Kenyan parents, mtoto wangu wa kwanza ameenda university, mtoto wangu wa kwanza amepata kazi, mtoto wangu wa kwanza.
And also, put in mind, it's like for you, they're experimenting with you. You're the first child.
Yes.
So they don't know everything, so you're the specimen.
You're the guinea pig.
Are we able to hold our family members accountable for their actions or for whatever they're doing.
We've been trying to hold each other accountable, like, hey, Sharon, you messed up, and you messed up big time, and you messed up because of 1, 2, 3, 4. If you maybe take a different approach, you might do A, B, C, D. But then also, we've also tried to create a home where, as much as we're trying to hold each other accountable, we're also aware of this other person's feeling. Of course, my sister and I are very alert on these things. It's a new thing to my mom, because in their generation, unaambia ati feelings zako ni, what are feelings? Who is feelings?
Not in the dictionary.
We do not do that here, but right now we try to like educate her, because times are changing. You're like, Mom, yes, ABCD has happened, but also this person feels this way. Maybe if you approached me in this tone, I wouldn't have come off as aggressive as I did. Maybe next time, if this happens and you can take this route. Hi, I think it's not easy. Imagine trying to, and it's like resetting your parents' mind from what they know. What they know is, Tracy, nimesema hutaolewa na mumeru, sawa? And you're like, Mom, that's how you seeing me, love me. I have said and I have said. But now we create a space where, like, I could see maybe you have fears, maybe you had an encounter with a Kikuyu person or with whatever. We need to accept as Kenyans, we're still very tribalistic. Let's not live under a blanket. We're still very tribalistic. As much as our generation is trying to, the millennials, of course, and the Gen Zs, we're trying to break that tribalistic aspect that you are from this community, you can't marry from this community, or rather these communities don't match. We're trying to break that. But at the end of the day, I think it gets to a point where you need to justify why you have not gone with someone from your own community and you've decided to go with someone from a different community. Because of course, matters culture will come up, blah, blah, blah. But then we have created a space, circling back to my point, I digress. We have created a space where we're trying to educate her on how things work.
My relationship with my siblings is different. For instance, I'm more close with my younger brother because we don't have a big age gap.
Of course, and the one you fought, one you fight with, that's the person you're closest with.
Yeah, so I think that fighting helped us become more closer. So when it comes to him, we share a lot of things. First of all, let it be known that he's an extreme introvert. So he doesn't talk to people a lot, but we kind of have an understanding or a connection that makes him or allows him to speak to me about matters he can't speak to anyone in the family. And then when it comes to my elder brother, it's a bit different because of the age gap. We didn't interact a lot growing up. And I remember him being in boarding school for a long time, so we didn't have that opportunity to have that close bond. So there's some things I'm not able to express to him. Come to think of it, even now that I am grown, I'm a grown woman, but I feel odd talking to him about. So sometimes I may not be able to hold him accountable for his actions because of that. Like, we still haven't fine-tuned our relationship and all that. And then it's also the same thing between my parents. I am more closer to my mom because my mom is more of she's a very open-minded person, and she's always been that person who opens up, expresses herself freely. So it also gave us that platform to also be able to express ourselves to her freely. So for my mom, we talk a lot. I'm not gonna say she's my best friend and I tell her everything about my life, but when it comes to communication, we communicate very well. I'm able to tell her most things, but I can't do that with my father because of how our relationship has been growing up.
Thank you for creating a safe space at home where I can come, and even if we don't speak and I just sit there in your presence, I'll feel safe. Thank you so much. God bless you. May you have many more years to maybe see my kids, to see your grandchildren and maybe your great-grandchildren. I love you, teacher.
That was nice. What about your sister? You've forgotten her.
Okay, I'll use her nickname. Hi, Oreo. It's big sister here. It's your long-term bank account speaking. Thank you for being a very present sibling. You're an amazing person. Your strong personality is who you are. I know we clash so many times because of your strong personality, but that's who you are. Stay true to you. Continue working on your craft. Keep sharpening your skills. You're such a talented human being. I love you. Alafu si unipeleke lunch.
I hope the message gets to her sooner than later. So, hi, Mom. I love you so much. You already know that. But I would want to say that you're the most amazing human being that I've ever met. And each and every day you continue to surprise me because of how amazing you are. And one of my goals in this life is to be half the woman that you are. I don't even know. I don't even know what I would be without you, but I'm so grateful, Mama. And I pray for God to grant you good health and very, very many years, and years that you're also going to enjoy as well. And to Dad, I love you so much. I am still thinking of how we can refine our bond, but everything you have done for me, I am so grateful. You have always been the mediator in our family, and I am lucky. I'm just lucky to have you as a father. You've always been supportive of my dreams, and I also pray for good health and long life. May you live long. May you get to see your grandchildren. May you get to see your great-grandchildren. May you get to enjoy life. May you get to live soft life as well.
Ish.
And I hope I get the opportunity to show you just how much you mean to me.
Oh, who is cutting onions in the building?
Don't cry, I'm not finished. So to my big brother, you have always been the best of us, of the three of us. We have borrowed a lot from you. We have learned a lot from you. You have been a good example as a firstborn, as a big brother. You've taken up so many responsibilities that you shouldn't have, but you chose to. And I'm so grateful for who you are. I pray that your dreams come true. I pray that you're successful. And I pray that we get to have good fun in the coming years. I pray that you live long enough. And may this bond that we have as siblings never break. And I always got you. And to my younger brother, our last born, through thick and thin, we fought a lot, but you've made me grow in so many ways. I thank you for always listening to me. You've always been, you've offered me a shoulder to lean on in many difficult times. And in your own weird way, you find how to express love. And I'm looking forward to enjoying this life with you. It's going to be a good ride. I am hopeful. May you be successful. May you live to see your dreams. May you live long. May you achieve everything you have always hoped to achieve. And I always got you. 100%.
Say the words. Say the words. Say the words.
Yeah.
Tracy, say the words. Say the three magic words.
I love you guys. I love you so much.
Perfect.
And I hope you get to see this video. I hope.
As for you, whoever is, as you're joining this video, maybe just in the comment section, maybe send a message to the person you love or you want to appreciate from your family, or maybe just share with us what family is to you. That's Kelele TV. Everywhere, as Tracy is trying to process how she has said I love you to her brothers. Everywhere, the hashtag is DND. Tracy, back to you. Now you're good.
Oh, this was a very person who doesn't...
You've seen how you've struggled to say that. You're like,
I have.
okay.
I didn't expect it because in my family, I always think I'm the most expressive person. But I've been put to the test,
Do you express your feelings or do you express your thoughts?
Thoughts mostly.
Exactly. So majority of us are tuned. In an African setting or in an African home, we are tuned to express our thoughts, but not our feelings. We suppress our feelings and then we now try to package them as thoughts. I was thinking maybe.
Anyway, it's been a really, really good topic. I honestly enjoyed it, and I also hope that you did. So please comment on this video. We really want to know and understand and hear. Have you grown up in that typical African setting? Have you grown up expressing your feelings and affection towards one another in the family setting? Has it been different from you? Maybe your experience was different. Or maybe you've grown up in a Kenyan family, but which has a totally different outlook on things. So please let us know.